Uh, oh, there we go. Aloha, welcome. We're going to be starting in just a few minutes, but Zach and I were just talking about some of the climate of today and things like that. So, Zach, what are you working on right now with research and stuff?
Oh gosh, several papers I'm trying to get out. Because we have a large scale research project in Costa Rica, there's a lot of researchers working on different aspects of the project, and so there's constantly a back and forth on papers that are at different stages.
A lot of coordination.
A lot of coordination. Leland, a postdoc who's working here at Lyon, who's at the seed lab, just got 2 of his papers out that were part of the project. So those were in the mix, but they're out now.
Fantastic.
Yeah. A
lot of good work still going on, and
yeah,
we have a great hashtag for all of our social media right now. Science marches on.
Science marches on in some form, because research is shut down in a lot of places. So
that's true.
In Costa Rica, for example, you can't actually. It's not permitted right now. So.
Oh wow!
It's a strange dynamic.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure that complicates things with grants and everything else you can think of.
Right, timelines and all that kind of thing. But
awesome! Thanks for sharing. So it is 10 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and get started with our broadcast of Facebook Live. My name is Hadley Anderson. I am the education specialist here at Lyon Arboretum, and with me today is Zach Zahawi. He is our director at Lyon Arboretum. And so we're going to be talking a little bit about some of the things that have been going on and some of the things that are going to happen in the future. So, Zach, tell us a little bit about your role as a director.
Well, thanks. So, as the name implies, I'm the director here, which means you're sort of overseeing the operations here, the big picture, if you will, for the Arboretum. I have maybe my fingers in each different department in a little bit, and just seeing how things are going and trying to coordinate that effort. As anybody who's come to Lyon knows, infrastructure is a big issue here and has been for many years, and that's been something we've worked on, since before I came here, but certainly since I started working here, that was a really big push, and last year, of course, we did the road and gate.
Okay, so we're talking actual infrastructure like buildings and grounds and trails, too?
Yeah. So we could start with buildings and grounds. So there's the road and gate that was done last year. This year, we've been really working on greenhouses, and we have one mostly done at this point. So. These were major overhauls. We have all the materials here, but it's really challenging for facilities guys to do the work here because of conditions, and it's just a very difficult work environment to do that kind of work.
We spent a little time with Tim a couple of weeks ago in the greenhouse. That was our first live cast, and it didn't go so well. We had some technical difficulties, but can you elaborate a little bit on the role that the greenhouse plays here at Lyon?
Sure. Greenhouse and grounds, or horticulture, a better word for it, and grounds work really closely with each other, those 2 departments. Horticulture is largely responsible for incoming material, so anything that's shipped to Lyon or collected that's not part of the rare plant program goes through horticulture, and they grow and cultivate germplasm, the seeds and whatever that comes in, either for outplanting on the garden grounds through the grounds department, or for selling at our biannual plant sales.
Fantastic.
So that's what horticulture does.
Excellent. That's really
and
good.
Other things too.
So it's really important that they have a good space, and the greenhouse was done
right.
with renovation.
So all the greenhouses were pretty dilapidated, and now we have one with a brand new roof on it, and hopefully next week we're moving on to the second greenhouse. So, but goal is to have that up and running by the end of the year.
Oh, fantastic!
And to some extent, the closure due to COVID has helped facilitate that, just because the facilities people haven't been as distracted as they normally are with other activities. Yeah.
Excellent. Great. Well,
Yeah.
okay. What other?
So that's infrastructure, and there are many other things such as photovoltaics that are coming,
Oh, excellent.
and other plans in the works. But we've also tried to improve visitor experience here, and so there are two major projects underway right now. One is Spice Hill, which has been completely revamped.
We've got some great pictures of that renovation that's been going on.
That looks really fantastic now. It's not finished, but the planting is going on now. So, getting the new plants in the ground. And then the other is Garden of Remembrance, which has sort of had a long history, I guess you could say. Maybe saga is a better word, but
epic tale.
Epic tale. And so we've revamped that area too, and that's not complete either, but will also be a really nice visitor experience, I think. And both of those are pretty close.
We have a question?
Yeah, somebody is interested. They wanted to know, what if somebody wants to donate a plant to Lyon? Is there a procedure for that?
I would contact Horticulture Department, so contacting Tim.
And you can find his contact information on our website under our directory. Yes, and so Tim is a horticulturalist, and so you can call Tim and see if we have the space or if we can take it, right?
Yeah, so there are criteria. It depends on what the plant is and whether we have a lot of it in our inventory, or whether if it could be something that could be outplanted eventually, or whether something that could be folded in and then put out in our plant sale or something like that, or part of our internal collections. So, but best to coordinate with him for that.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So those are two areas that are being revamped: the Spice Hill and Garden of Remembrance, and I think that'll be a nice surprise, especially for visitors who've come to, who come frequently to Lyon. They should notice this is a pretty big change from when did we shut? Mid-March. So yeah.
It's undertaken quite the transformation over there. Our education department is right next to it, so we've been watching it slow progression, but I'm sure anybody who has come to Lyon before and
will notice that.
Will definitely notice it straight off the bat, and it's going to be a really wonderful area for visitors once they get here.
And tied to it are some new trails in that area, and just making access a lot better and safer than what it was. So. And
I know that our grounds guys have also been doing some work with the trails. That are deeper in the forest too.
Yeah, and that's an ongoing sort of slow process, because trail work is extremely labor intensive. But they just got a new gizmo, so they got a mechanized wheelbarrow, which should actually make their work a lot easier. So you can actually get gravel and heavy material into remote areas a lot more easily than just strapping it onto your back. So
yeah, that's incredibly labor intensive.
Yeah. So yeah, all of that will be new for visitors coming in.
Fantastic. All right. So that's what's been ongoing since we've had our closure. Any news about when we're going to be reopening?
Yeah, so that's a slow, methodical process. The University of Hawaii is still closed to the public, and that will likely go through the end of June, may be extended further. But the Arboretum and the university's given the go-ahead for the Arboretum to slowly start opening back up, and so we're looking to do that by about mid-June. There will be sort of different criteria in place on how we open up. We need to do this in a methodical way and also in a controlled way. So what we'll probably have is a registration system, an online registration system with a number of slots, if you will, visitors. So to limit the number of vehicles coming up, and also people can come up, just so we don't have overcrowding coming up here and that kind of thing. And we'll see how that goes and constantly be modifying it. But for those who are interested in coming up, keep tabs on our social media, on our website for guidelines. There'll definitely be some kind of registration system put in place.
Yeah. So we'll have some sort of registration link. We'll have a time frame for people to come and visit, and we'll have some parking available.
Some parking available.
Not a lot, but we want to adhere to social distancing rules, so we want to see what our capacity is at this point. And,
absolutely, and how to manage, having visitors up here again. Unfortunately, we'll keep the visitor center and the gift shop in particular closed, at least at the outset, just so that we just manage the traffic of people coming up and walking around and so on. But that's what we're about.
Yeah.
We're not about a gift shop. We're about getting people outside.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
That's the important thing.
Fantastic. Anything else you'd like to talk about with our audience, or we are going to be opening soon, mid-June. Keep tabs on our website. We'll have information as it comes out. We might be changing things. We're going to be testing some things out, and we'll see how things work out. But yeah, keep an eye on everything.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's a different time here, but thankfully at Lyon, we're in the outdoor business, which is largely unaffected by the COVID-19 crisis. So.
And as a matter of fact, I think it's actually booming at this point.
Yes.
If Memorial Day weekend was any indication about how much people want to get outdoors.
Absolutely. So I think that's part of the reason why we want to put in this sort of regulated system, just so we don't get overrun and have a lot of upset people here.
And keep it nice and safe, and social distancing, adherence, and all those things too.
Exactly.
Excellent. Okay. Any plans for the future for Lyon? Do you have a big plan, or hoping?
Lots of big plans. They've sort of been put on the back burner given the last few months and having to deal with this situation. But probably the biggest plan on the horizon would be trying to get a new visitor center for Lyon. But that's down the road.
I mean, you can't beat the view from our visitor center right now, but some improved facilities, couldn't hurt.
Exactly.
Awesome, Zach. Thank you so much for joining us on Facebook Live.
Most welcome.
And, thank
Great
you
to be
all.
Here.
Glad to be here too. I'm glad to be here as well. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Keep an eye on our website. If you have any questions, feel free to ask some more questions. We'll try to get answers to you after this broadcast. And of course, if you aren't able to join us live this time, the video will be posted right after as well. So on that note, aloha. We'll see you next time.